Okay, welcome back to the Forgotten City. Yes, yesterday I have to admit it went horribly wrong in a way in which I know yesterday was rather sudden with the way it ended, but unfortunately, it come up with a error, and the game just suddenly stopped. Hence why my stream come up to a sudden halt, like it did. So for those of you that was confused with the last stream, I apologise. It was out of my hands, and I wasn't going to redo a stream just to say, oh, sorry for what just happened, for the stream to end. I'm going to leave it now. Goodbye. I don't see the point in doing a stream just for the sake of letting everyone know what's happened. I might as well wait to the next one and explain myself that, and then apologise for the way it went wrong, because even though it's out of my hands, I do believe that letting it linger like that is a little bit unfair, so I apologise for that. I should have at least had the decency to put something on my description. However, today is basic. We'll see what's left to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to attempt going around that statue in case it causes an error again. Whatever's in there, leave it. Besides which, it's difficult anyway, as I discovered yesterday. And I'm not going to gain a lot from getting that cash anyway. To be fair, that's the sort of thing that you need to grab and get if you want to stand there and buy your way to things without having to. I think that chest of lots of denarii there, I think that's there if you want to stand there and get everything that you need to pay for round the beginning without having to break the without having to break the rule, a golden rule. I think I have heard, I don't know how this is true, but I think it's possible to do it all in one go without even breaking the golden rule once. I know how to do that. I could do that. Yo, Richard, how's it going, pal? You alright? So yeah, so basically today we're going to see what's left to do, and depending on what's left to do regarding things that I can and cannot do, I am going to see what there is left to do, and depending on what's left to do, I'll do anything that I can do. Oh, glad you're good, and I'm good, thank you. I'm very good indeed. So what was I saying? Oh, that was it, yeah. So basically, yeah, I'm just basically going to see what there is left to do, and then all being good, all being well, I will then, some point in this stream hopefully, I will find and do the last plaque. But I will have to I may have to restart the day one last time. But after this time, you will not see me approach hilarious and saying all that man with Newsy Bell on the back and all of that for getting to do them errands, because I'll explain it to you. In order for Galerius to become the magistrate, people have to see him do good things. So I need to fail the day to get him to do all 4 errands, so then the corresponding council he does it for, they then have a reason to vote for him. And that is why I need to do the sinner, because the sinner becomes one of the ones you can ask him to do after doing it. And when he does all 4 of them, so that'll be Lulia, obvious. Rufius, Fabia, votes that will get into. However, there is a snub with that, but I'm not going to tell the people what the snub is because that will spoil it. I'm not going to say too much. What I will say is this. So I've done that. So what do I go and do now? So let's see what else there is to do. Swiss triangle. So we've still got point of origin, golden rule, figure out. So Herculean task. Yeah, I'm nearly done that. I know how to do that as well. That's now some basic. Basically, that's in Dooley cell. Center. I'm about to do that one now in a minute. Vanishing act. That one. I don't know if I'll be doing that one. Yep, and then we've got the Greek plaque that speaks for itself, the only plaque that's left. So, yeah. So now let's go tell Virgil. But, I'll skip the conversation there this time because technically I did it in the last one.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to... Here we... what demon or spirit told you about that? You went snooping in his place? That was risky. We're lucky you didn't cross any lines. Have you spoken to him about it? Really? Really? Nice to talk to you.
Right, okay, then that's that done. So now that one should be completely ticked off. Yes, the sinner is officially ticked off. So now then, now I need to find a way to... Right, that's the Greek plaque. But I can't do anything regarding that yet. So what I will be doing is something else entirely.
How'd you do? Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a glorious bow you're carrying. Do you mind if I ask where you acquired it? Are you well, stranger? Have you been out in the sun too long? You seem a little... confused? Perhaps you should go and see Lucretia in a clinic. Very well. Another time.
I've got nothing to say to you after what you did to me when I went to the Shrine of Diana. All the ones now I can do. Now I'm gonna have to find a way, unless I do attempt that again. Where's... see if I can find Galerius. Yeah, it appeared to be around here. No, I haven't done that yet. The only way I'm going to do that, that's a bit, No, I'm not going to bother with that. Besides which, I've got nothing to gain from getting that denarii and that anyway. I think that's something that you do at the beginning if you want to try and do certain things without having to purposely break the golden rule, like the cost of the Scythium resin, buying the key off Medius. I'm glad I've discovered that actually. It helps.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Alright, I'm just wondering. Where the Piginora is Galerius? He's normally in that direction. Well, I think I've got a fair idea as to where he might be. Ah, you're there.
Salve.
You can't be far.
Salve again, my Sisyphean friend. Now, what's on your mind? Oh, I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know?
I didn't want to just walk away
without saying anything. Find a way to break that cycle you're in.
Right, so now I'm going to think of a way to what's it. Because it needs to happen. Otherwise there is no way on this earth. I think I'm better off doing 4. I think he can actually get away with it with only 3 errands. But in case he falls short, I'd rather do it where he does all 4. So... tell you what, I'm going to get him back.
Salve.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
I don't care. You did my head in, so now I've done that. Actually, no, to be fair, my real reason for doing that, it is just, I just chose that purposely because of what he did, and just because it needed to restart again. At the end of the day, it needed to restart, so I picked that because of what he did. Technically I could have done anything, but I just thought, you know what, leave Decius with nothing after locking me in. What a bit of a nasty act, to be fair. Here we go. Right, this will be the last time. After this time, that is it. I admit there may be... No, actually no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go in...
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost? Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
Right, he'll do all 4 of them now. So first of all...
Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood.
The Lulia one?
Oh no. All right, I can do that.
That one next.
Poor Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. All right, got it.
And we'll end with that one.
What? Are you... You're serious, aren't you? I doubt Domitius will let me talk to him, but I'll make sure he passes on the message. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Yep, I can tell you one more time. Because now you're going to do all them errands and everyone will like you for it. Oh, there you go.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
It's horrible because there's one that shows up there. Just look at that. Just because I took off. Yeah. Still, you know. I'm just going to stroll now while Galerius is doing what he needs to do. Because there's literally nothing else I can do at the moment until he is elected. Technically, I could just go straight up to the well. Still go. Okay, then what does that way do exactly? Because I just realised that is an extra pathway. Technically, where does it actually take me? I've got 22, so that's why wrong bow. So that was basic for a few coins. Okay. No, that's alright, go back. Be holding nothing. It's easier. By a very long mile. As long as I don't go that way and ruin it. So if I go that way and ruin it, that ain't going to be very good. Because that will potentially ruin it if I approach Orpheus before he gets there, because that means I would have started the conversation and he would have jumped, being in and out of total areas to do it for nothing. So I need to change my way.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop
Also, I'm going to see if I can do something extra with gloves to doing all of that. Just like, technically, through the view of me, I might not have to, and I'm not sure if it'll even let me now. But I'm thinking, you know, go for it. Cool.
Wow, isn't that a big you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before, a certain learning and sophistication. Well, since you bring that up, let's cut to the chase. What are you worth? So you do. And that would make you rich as Croesus on the outside. But down here, it's not worth much. What else have you got? Really? That's just sad. Maybe if you had at least 10,000, things might have been different. I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern? I do, but I'm afraid it's not for sale. It's the last jug in the entire city, so I'm saving it for a romantic occasion. Really? That's your move? Honey, I'll admit I was intrigued by you at first, but then you had to go and open your mouth. Unfortunately for you, nobody gets a second chance at a first impression. What's that supposed to be? The riddle of the Sphinx? All right, see ya.
Doesn't become a thing, because I think technically you kinda. That's not.
Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
Alright, now if I go in this direction, at some point I should see it. I stayed away from the more well-known parts of the location, purposely. Should I say?
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly... Anyway. Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now,
Okay, so now before I do that, So I was just double checking one or two things. Nothing do anything too outrageous. Well, now if I wanted to,
Citizen,
I could.
name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
I could show off 3 of the endings, depending on where they put all the saves. And if I get the time, which it's highly likely that I will have the time, I might show you all 3. Although really, the one I've been wanting, one that I'll be showing you first, should really be the last one. Although to be fair, it might be interesting to do it the other way around. So the ending that could be classed as the best one. It'd be more of a surprise through the eyes of me if I showed you that one first. Because the second one is actually another one where I have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Is another restart daytime.
Hilarious. Sorted out my rheumatism. For the first time in a long time, I'm not in constant pain. Good man. Fine. See you around.
Right, so
a new face. I hear we had Galerius, definitely. He put an end to the notes and graffiti I've been receiving. All right. Nice to talk to you.
I'll keep it going. Might as well carry on talking to people.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside. Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a glorious bow you're carrying. Do you mind if I ask where you acquired it? Well, I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. I mean, it's not as if you have any use for it down here. Oh well, let me know if you change your mind. For now, can I help you with something? Sentience, I suppose. Stability is always good for business. Yeah? And what's he gonna do for me? He's nothing. Certainly, for a few thousand denarii.
I admit you can be a bit of a git, but it helps. Actually, no, I'm not going to waste all that denarii. I'm not going to do that.
Nothing illegal about it. Well, that's a shame. Come back if you change your mind.
No, because I thought about it long and hard in my head, and because there's something I know, I'm not wasting that one.
Very well. Another time.
Where's Fabia? Fabia's a bit more to the left now, not Georgius.
Greetings and salutations. Greetings. I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another... My friend... Galerius. Did you know he saved the life of my young friend Fabia? The man is a hero. But of course, I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
I know, that's very rude. I just want to know which one is and isn't.
Salve and welcome. Need something?
Alright. Thanks again for...
No, what am I just going to be going now for? What a complete fool!
You're back. Something the matter?
You can't ask her. What?
Alright. Thanks again for taking care of our problem. I won't forget it.
That's backwards.
Citizen.
You'd think you'd be able to ask her. As lovely as she... No, go on.
Arve. A new face. Arve, and may Vesta watch over you.
I can only ask what the status of the
It
election
must be
was.
completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Galerius, the challenger. Why do you ask? Certainly. See you again soon, I hope.
Right.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
I'm not going to bother asking him who he's going to vote for, because he's going to stand there and say he's not voting. I wonder why that is. He'll say Sentius. But I'll ask him anyway.
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Alright?
Right, so who else is there?
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Yeah, very. Now, this way we should be doing out. Oh, yeah, the chest just here. Because every time the day restarts, 246 ends up in there. It's not much, but do it enough times.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Obvious.
Shalom, friend. Galerius. He saved my life. I have a feeling he can do a lot more if given the chance. All right, friend. Thanks for the chat.
Now there's Lulia to ask. I know where she's likely to be.
A golden bow, just like Apollo. Feeling all right?
No, you're alright.
That's a shame. Thanks again for saving Yulia's life. Apollo smiles upon you.
Okay, where's she gone?
Citizen.
She normally goes that way with Olpius, doesn't she? I wish there was a way if you wanted to stand there and find out certain things on certain characters, that you could stand there and just for the sake of conversation, put a waypoint on them.
Still a bit out of it. Galerius just saved my life. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
Wow! Just why?
No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman. But I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing, so I can't help you, I'm afraid.
I didn't want to stand and be rude, so I just asked something I've already asked again, just so I could say up again. Because sometimes I don't like to do that. Just because the question doesn't come up, I just feel rude. So I asked something I've asked her before. And I find it easier that way. But you said something about resting. Then why are you walking back up the stairs, dear?
Citizen.
I'm not gonna
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
That's quite an impressive bow.
I'm gonna throw any kind of fire within any net. I'm just gonna leave it there. The reason why I'm gonna do what I think would be classed as the best ending first is because one of the endings involves restarting the day yet again after doing it. So I'm just going to go for the ending I intended to already go for. I could just rush it and ask her to do the election now. I just realised that means there's going to be another restart. I might just do that ending and then leave it at that. I want to try and rush it out. I want to rush it, sorry.
Ave again. Did you find what you need? It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Galerius, the challenger. Why do you ask? As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk, but I suppose I could hold it sooner, if there's a good reason.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Yes. I have overheard some rather unpleasant arguments. The last thing we need here is additional conflict. Very well. I'll get things started right away.
Better to get it out the way.
It is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Election starting.
Right. Get it over and done with now. I don't want to wait any longer. I know where they all go, it's this way.
gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabian.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a...
Well,
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? We have? Wait. Seems... nothing really. It won't be long before the golden rule is broken and everything will be reset. I dare say it won't affect me in the slightest. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to hurry up.
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Hello? I'm Dooley. Magistrate Galerius said I should thank the newcomer. Are you the newcomer? Oh, it is you. Then, thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy. You can have my shiny plaque if you want, and maybe you can help me find my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would, but then he died. But before that, he told me if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious. He gave me a key to the cisterns and told me to keep it safe. He said there's something very precious way up high. Please help me find it. Please. I had to keep it a secret until I found someone I could trust. Oh, thank you. Here's the key.
I won't be going there in the sending.
In the cisterns, way up high, Hannibal says. Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure? Maybe it is treasure. I can see it for myself. And it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody wants it. Maybe no one will
Oh, well done, genius.
Take it. Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer.
That's why. That's exactly why I knew it was going to restart, and it would be all for nothing. Because the soppy sod doesn't know when to leave things alone. But he had to come out because of the plaque, and he gives you the upper cistern key. So this has to happen. Does it mean to say I'm not going to stand there and tell Galerius to do all those things? Because I'm still gonna.
Salve, friend.
So when I said that was the last time, it actually wasn't.
What you're doing with
This
that bow
is the
on your
last
back?
time.
Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
I forgot what happens when you do that.
Poor Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. Alright, got it. Yulia? Oh no. Alright, I can do that. Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. What? Are you? I'll go, but...
Off you go. Do all that what you do.
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment there's a... Well, since you bring that up, let's cut to the chase. What are you worth? I have that much myself. Maybe if you had at least 10,000, and things might have been different. I take back what I said.
You know what? I don't care about impressing you anyway.
All right. See ya.
I'm just going to help her swallow this. I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what the new lady told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so much. I never knew.
Can't stay. Places to be.
I want to see him do it.
Salve, Rufius. I hear your rheumatism has you so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
What? My condition is nobody's business but mine.
There's no need for that. I just wanted to give you this willow bark to help you treat it.
A treatment? Really? Thank God. Finally, some relief after all this time. Thank you, Galerius. You're a good man. And I'll be sure to leave Virgil alone. I know I haven't been at my best lately.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run.
What now?
I have a message from Malleolus.
Yeah? Who's it from?
The Emperor. He knows Malleolus's real name is Quinctius, thanks to Claudia, and demands he withdraw from the election and release Ulpius and Iulia immediately.
Are you out of your mind, farm boy?
Domitius, that's enough.
What? You're not going to listen to this dolt, are you?
Galerius, all right, I'll withdraw, and Ulpius and Julia are free. I trust our business is concluded?
Yes, that ought to do it. I guess I'll go and tell Ulpius the good news then.
Alright, now let's go follow him. He's gonna run up there to where Ulpius is. He'll be way ahead.
Malleolus has agreed to release you and Iulia from your debts.
What? Are you messing with me?
I wouldn't do that. You're both free.
We're free. We're free. Thank you. It seems fortune smiles on us.
Citizen.
I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
And now Malleolus is going to... Wait. Why do you look so happy?
We're free. Malleolus just released us and we never have to set foot in that villa again.
I never actually followed him to see it say to one of my
Galerius arranged it somehow.
Really?
Very interesting.
That's... incredible. Oh, what a relief. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. Just rest up, get your strength back, and we'll celebrate properly when you're ready.
I will. Thank you, Ulpius. I will.
Where's it come to you? I want to see if there must be a way to gather them all.
Yes, sir.
Unless you don't actually have to.
I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
As you wish, sir.
Looks like it's none of that. It looks like all I've got to basically do is go up there.
Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
Oh, well, that's surprising. But thank you for telling me. I'll let everyone know.
Of course, she had to be there, didn't she, for that bit where Malleolus drops out. I don't need to talk to her to activate it anyway. I just promptly come this way. So let's see then. Can I do this?
Be careful who you trust.
Don't worry. 9 times out of 10 I am. I already learned one person not to trust. Theseus.
Salve, friend.
Dab, what's the order?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will. My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know? It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey. This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Persephone to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutabal to the Sumerians, Kerti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago. That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Persephone saw raw potential and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Persephone could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Persephone's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Persephone and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Persephone. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before. They made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten. To ensure the wage was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind would have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone's along with it. It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth. Of course. That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not? For you, perhaps. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Cimmerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, two were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana. I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? The merchant. How is that inconsistent with the rule I've outlined? I disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from others, and he would be quite capable of paying the price anyway. Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? The midwife and the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule? The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language. Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? I have seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not what is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others. Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule? And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others. Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty? I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt? I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years. Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? Do you honestly think you could do better? I should strike you down for that. Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning? I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes. If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask? Then what an odd question. I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies. Very well. Good. And now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Carol, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here? If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here? I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpina has slumbered for 3,000 years. Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. And answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek? Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called Golden Rule? How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up. His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day. True. I have witnessed him doing that. He is a volatile and confused fellow. Pathetic. You will need to do a lot better than that. That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist? Accordingly, I reject your argument. Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them. How unfortunate that we are not where you are from. Ah, but I'm a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights? Of course not, because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals. My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal. Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine. It would be most unwise to get ideas about attacking me, because that is the source of our power over you. You could say that. My kin have no superiors. That is true. Go on. Make your point, mortal. Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no. The very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument, when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster? Wait, what? What do you say? You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was fatally flawed from the beginning. But that would mean Jupiter, Proserpina's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that? A mistake, but he is the best and greatest of us. Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it's what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. And I cannot deny it any longer. I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready? Farewell, mortal.
Okay.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Know who you are. I barely remember how I got here myself. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to her. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years? What? Oh, I see. For a moment there I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead, and I'll be there soon.
Okay, let's carry on in this direction. That was a big conversation I had with the god of the Underworld. But it was all worth it.
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find out? Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered, while we wait?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Carol, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience. That most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead. Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know? A wise decision. All you need to know is that you and Al died in possession of a sacred silver coin. It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferrymen for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here. It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now! Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Okay.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet. And I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there. Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you'd better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh, hello.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside, with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us. Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself. See you at the wedding, I hope.
That's spoken about walking. Let's talk to Dooley.
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it. I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth. Bye-bye.
I get the impression that there's going to be someone missing.
You're the Oracle, right? Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation. Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude? Thank you. You're very kind. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck. Well, you are the Oracle, so I suppose I'll take your word for it. Huh. I feel better already. Thank you. You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there. I hope so.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So... I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time. You too, don't be a stranger.
Right, so I've spoken to those, So now let's...
Hey.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Scintilla with us as well. So, thank you. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides. Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever. Thanks. Oh, and I don't know if you've heard, but a few of us are going for drinks later. It'd be nice to, chat with you some more. Great. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword. You're not wrong. See you at drinks later.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again. Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me. You too. See you around.
No problem, Cynthia. I'm glad I found out the truth. Nothing doing that.
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful. I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won. You too, my friend.
So I've not missed anyone. We're turning around. No, there's a wall and that's it.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia. I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure. I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive. Thank you. I really am. You too.
I'm trying to turn around. Let's see what's here.
Magnificent museum, is it not?
I take it you're the Oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it. I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again. My sins again. Some soiree, innit? hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
Now I'll be nice, now that we're out in the real world. Sod it.
Most gracious of you. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend? Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer. Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm gonna make a bloody fortune. Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Yes. He would.
Good evening.
Octavia.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him. Thank you. That means a lot. And you.
Greetings. Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium. I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. At least until I'm well enough to be independent again. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. And you, farewell, friend.
Alright, it's good to be able to speak to all again afterwards. Oh, Kobash, I forgot about him.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle. You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman,
And I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun. Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
Is there anybody else who's going to shock me I'm going to be able to speak to? Stranger.
Hello there.
Bloody hell.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
Oh yeah, they did say that she made it out.
You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine. Thanks. You too.
Ulpius.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you. You too.
Go across the way, it's merge it around. Ruby, yes, alright, okay then.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you. I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are. You too. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff. I live with Virgil in Rotterdam. not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time. Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant. You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
I think I've spoke to everyone now. Anybody else? I need to speak to her.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected. I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day. And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city? Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what they did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Yep, the Canaan and the Evora 4. Well, that concludes the other ending. I was going to go over to Quaid, the guy, the game I went through before, and show you the other ending that there is in it. But I have decided I'm not going to do that today, because I'm already 18 minutes over the time. So, thank you for watching, and I will show you one of the other endings at some point. It won't be tomorrow, but I will show you the other ending if I get the chance. I've got two endings to show you, although one of them, to be fair, I'm actually going to show you the one that's the baddest last, in a roundabout way. I know technically I shouldn't be told. No, technically, I know it's the baddest, or at least I think it's the baddest. But I'll show you. But I'm going to show you the next time I go on this. I'll be showing you the other ending that I did with Quaid, and I'll already be stood in the right spot to do it with Quaid, which is the other one, the guy I was old data when I first went through this without streaming, and then after that I'm going to go over to Elisa again, and this time do the one where although to be fair, I'm not sure if ending 3 is even needed, because it's not like not everyone's survived it anyway, but I just want to see what the differences are, to see if there is any differences within it. I mean, I know that no matter what happens either way, it seems as if one of them cannot be cured, because you heard what was said. Shocker. Although, to be fair, I don't really need to do that ending, and I'll tell you for why, because it's not like you don't find out what happens in the other ending. When you go to your sister and you'll discover what you got told. But it wouldn't hurt to see it. So I still might. Or I might just see what the differences are by just doing Elisa's ending, because you heard of that ending. So, but it's a good ending, and it was a lot longer than expected, because I had all them conversations with all the people that you helped when coming out. I mean, there's a few of them who I didn't get to re-see, I didn't get to re-talk to. But to be fair to you, the ones that I didn't, don't bother me. In fact, I even think that it's actually quite, what's the word I'm looking for? One or two of them, or one of them at least, two of them actually, 2 out of the 3 didn't bother me. Although to be fair, one of them I didn't picture as very nice anyway, because I didn't have like 10,000 on me or a certain amount on me, I wasn't good enough. So, but as for Demetrius and Malleolus, or Quintius as he actually was, I was glad they wasn't in the hallway so I could speak to them. I don't want an update on them too. I didn't like them. So, with that said, thank you for watching. I'm about to do one of the other 2 endings. I don't know whether or not I will bother doing the upper assistant ending, where I go up to the upper assistant. I mean, technically I'll have to do that anyway. But when I do that, I'll do it on Elisa's one, because on the Quaid one, I think there is one plaque I don't grab. There's one plaque I don't grab. Because you remember rightly, I found that one where I had to trick Octavia to go and grab it. Go to that thing, and then grab that plaque by accident. Now that never happened on Quaid, on the male one. That one where I gave the name Quaid. because unfortunately, I never found that plaque in Quaid's one, so. Although, it doesn't look like you need the plaque to get that ending, so technically I probably would be able to do it on either one. But I won't. I will do it on Elisa's. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. And I might be back to show you the ending that I've already done, plus the remaining two endings. No, to show you the ending I've already done and the other ending that I can show you, because the good news is I'm gonna show you 3 out of 4 because I don't fancy starting yet another game, because one of the endings how can I put this? Ending 2? Ending 3 and ending 4 ending 1 is classed as the bad one. In order to show you the bad one, I have to restart, and I don't want to do that because I've already got 2 save files. I've got a girl called Elisa and one called Quaid. I don't need to do any more. So the bad ending, because it's classed as a bad one, I'm not even going to dignify it with showing you. But you might find me on this again soon. Don't know when it will be. Showing you the ending I've already done and the remaining ending I haven't. Not including the bad one, obviously. So, I mean it this time. With all that being said, and I mean it this time, thank you for watching, and I might be back to show you the ending I've already done and the only other ending I can do with where I am on both the datas without starting a new one. So, thank you for watching, and I might be back soon.